All right, let's talk about a goal that feels, well, huge. And honestly, a little exhausting just thinking about it. Becoming a millionaire. But what if I told you the secret wasn't about grinding harder, but about actually working with your lazy side? Welcome to the Lazy Person's Guide to a Million.
I mean, come on, how many of us have felt like this? You can see the goal right there, that big bag of money, so clearly. But the idea of actually getting on the treadmill and running for it? No thanks. This picture, this is the whole problem we're going to solve today. That massive gap between what we want and what we feel like doing. Let's just be real for a second. You have huge dreams, right? You want to build things, achieve amazing stuff, but then the alarm clock goes off, and the most powerful burning desire in the entire universe is to hit snooze and stay buried under the covers. If that sounds familiar, congratulations, you're not broken, you're just human, and you are in exactly the right place.
So what is that feeling? That weird internal tug-of-war between being super ambitious and, well, super lazy. We're going to call it the laziness paradox. And trust me, understanding this is the very first step to finally getting unstuck. Okay, now here's the big idea. The one thing that changes everything. That feeling of laziness, it's not a bug. It's not something wrong with you that you need to fix. It is a core feature of your human operating system, and it was installed on purpose. So let's peek under the hood and look at the science. Your brain is running on some seriously ancient software, and, it was designed for a totally different world than the one we live in now. This core feature is all about one thing: conservation of energy. Think back like 100,000 years ago. If you wasted a bunch of calories chasing something that wasn't food, you might not have the energy left to run away from a saber-toothed tiger. So your brain's default setting, its factory reset, is basically don't move unless you absolutely have to.
And this quote just nails it. It's not a you problem, it's a human problem. Realizing this is so freeing, right? Because it means you can stop beating yourself up. You can stop fighting a battle against your own nature, and instead, you can start being a little more clever about it.
And this just shows you how deep it goes. Even one of the most productive people in history, Thomas Edison, knew that our brains will do pretty much anything to take the easy route. That path of least resistance isn't a sign of weakness. It is our default command.
So this leads us to that classic advice everyone loves to give. Just try harder, have more willpower. Well, there is a massive, massive flaw in that logic. In fact, it's pretty much a trap. Let's break down why. I want you to think of your willpower like the gas tank in your car. Every single decision you make all day, from ignoring a text to choosing a salad for lunch, it sips a little fuel. By 4 p.m., that tank is often completely empty, and that leaves you with zero fuel for the big, important things that actually move the needle.
So, really, we have two options. There's the old way, fighting your brain. This is like trying to push a giant boulder uphill every single day. It's exhausting. But then there's the smart way, the lazy way. It's not about fighting your brain, it's about hacking it. It's about changing the world around you so the productive choice becomes the easiest choice.
And this is the secret weapon. The environment hack. This is the low-effort, high-impact solution that actually uses your brain's natural laziness for you instead of against you.
The core idea here, which comes from the personal MBA, is called a guiding structure, and it's actually incredibly simple. Your environment, your surroundings, has more control over your actions than almost anything else. So if you want to change what you do, you don't start with the action. You start by changing the environment. I love this quote because it's just so brutally true. You can have the most perfect plans, the best intentions in the world, but if your environment is set up to make you fail, you will fail every single time. The environment always wins. So how do we make this practical? It's really just a simple 3-step recipe. First, get crystal clear on what you want. Second, figure out all the annoying little things, the friction that get in your way. And third, you just redesign your space, your digital life, your whole world to eliminate that friction. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do you actually design your life so that being productive is the default setting, the laziest possible choice you can make? The whole game is just making good choices easy and bad choices hard. Want to build wealth? The lazy way is to automate it. Have the money transferred before you can even think about spending it. Zero daily effort. Want to focus? The FAA has this thing called the sterile cockpit rule for pilots. Below 10,000 feet, no chit-chat, only essential talk. You can create your own sterile cockpit by blocking distracting apps and websites. The goal is to make the right choice the only easy one available. Now, check out these two stories. In the book Misbehaving, it talks about how tons of homeowners in Britain don't insulate their attics, even though it would save them a fortune. Why? Because cleaning out the attic and making the phone calls is just enough of a hassle, a little bit of friction to stop them. Now, contrast that with a story about an author who felt totally uninspired in her apartment. Her lazy fix wasn't to try harder. She moved into a tiny garage in a place she loved. She changed her environment, and bam, her creativity took off. And this is the real magic of it all. This isn't about having zero willpower. It's about using it smarter. You use one single burst of energy, just one time, to set up that automatic transfer, to delete the shopping apps, to throw out the junk food. That one-time payment of effort saves you from having that same exhausting internal fight day after day after day.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? When you get this right, the change in your behavior isn't some slow, painful grind. It's immediate, it's drastic, and a lot of the time it feels completely effortless. So if there is one thing, just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Stop trying to win a head-on fistfight with millions of years of evolution. It's a losing battle. Stop thinking of your laziness as your enemy. Instead, think of yourself as an architect, a designer, and start building an environment where your success is the easiest, most logical, and most inevitable outcome.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question. Not for next week, not for tomorrow, but for today. What is one small, tiny thing you can do right now to remove a little bit of friction between you and your goals? Maybe it's just laying out your gym clothes before you go to bed. Maybe it's just deleting one app from your phone. Start there. Make the lazy choice the right choice.